What's going on, folks? Can you believe what is going on with Kroger? Now, they just issued a major produce warning, and for some of their locations, they're facing serious availability issues with some of their produce items. Now, if you've stepped into any of the local Krogers and noticed a shortage of fresh produce, I need to hear from you guys. Let me know what you guys are seeing, boots on the ground. Just hit me up in the comment section down below. We need to know if this is happening to everyone or just a few Krogers. Now, it might be connected to the oil shortages that we've been hearing so much about. Check this out.
But we are getting closer to that summer driving season. You think that there's a point where the immediate demand picture starts to take over?
I mean, again, I think that once you can get past recessionary and rate hike concerns, oil will struggle in the sort of macro wall of worry scenario. But if those fears start to recede, I do think there'll be a greater emphasis on the fundamentals, and a greater emphasis on, what we're seeing in countries like India, where demand has been really strong. China may have been more muted than anticipated, but Chinese demand is growing. We are heading into summer driving season. And again, these very important OPEC cuts will start to take effect. And I think also there are these other supply stories that we haven't necessarily been focusing on, which could become more material. For example, there's a very significant Iraqi pipeline, 475,000 barrels a day, taking crude from the north to Turkey. That has been down for several weeks. So I do think as we get into summer, these supply stories will start to take impact.
So you heard that right, guys. We need to brace ourselves for another hike on gas prices. Y'all remember last year, right? Yeah, that was enough. Anyway, we need to talk about the bigger picture here. When it comes to the food industry, consolidation is just wreaking havoc and is driving up food prices. And us consumers, we need to be sharp with our strategies. Now, over the last few decades, we've been witnessing a pretty huge jump in consolidation in the food sector, where fewer and fewer suppliers are calling the shots. And you know what that means, right? Higher prices for all of us. But hold on tight, guys, because there's even more shaking up in the grocery landscape. Two of the giants in the American supermarket scene are now about to join forces. Kroger just dropped the bombshell that they're planning to acquire Albertsons in a colossal deal worth nearly $25 billion. Now, this move has the potential to completely just change the retail industry game right here in the United States, and of course, it's going to impact millions of Americans and how they buy their groceries. Brace yourselves, folks, because as these grocery stores get bigger and the smaller mom and pops and the farms, they're going to be getting squeezed out of this. Now, speaking of consolidation, let's talk about meat packing. That always sounds so gross when I say that. But anyway, never mind that. In the American meat packing industry, there are 4 major corporations that are calling the shots. So we got Tyson Foods, Cargill, and like 2 owned by Brazilian corporations. You got National Beef Packing Company and JBS. Back in 1977, they only held 25% of the market. Now, if we fast forward today, after a series of mergers, these big 4, they now have a staggering 85% control over all meat packing in America. It's a $67 billion industry, and the control is just concentrated into just a few hands. Yeah. That can't be good, right, guys? And hey, we also got some updates pouring in from viewers just like you all across the nation and the world. And it's not just produce, folks. People are experiencing shortages of meat and other essentials as well. I know it's a very challenging time, and this is why I'm here with this video to share some light on the situation. But amidst all of the challenges, there's one thing that we can do to protect ourselves and our families, and that is to ensure the security of our digital lives. And so that's where the sponsor of today's video, Aura, comes in. In this ever-changing landscape where consolidation seems to be wreaking havoc on various industries, including the food industry, it's essential to stay one step ahead. Now, while we focus on navigating the complexities of rising food prices and shortages, we can't afford to overlook the importance of safeguarding our online presence. With Aura, you can have the peace of mind of knowing that your digital life is protected. They are experts at sniffing out those sneaky data brokers and handling the hassle of spam email opt-outs for you. Aura goes above and beyond to keep you safe from online threats that you might not even be aware of. Aura is a trusted name in the business. They have the power to sniff out these cunning data brokers and expose their malicious intentions. But that's not all, guys. Aura goes the extra mile by handling all that hassle for you. No more wasting time on spam email, opt-outs, or dealing with that frustrating process of trying to get your details removed. Aura just swoops in and makes your life so much easier. And as somebody who's personally experienced Aura's exceptional protection, I can confidently say that they surpass expectations. They shield you and your loved ones from those sneaky online threats that you never even knew existed. Rest assured, Aura has your back when it comes to keeping your digital life secure. Now, one of the things that I absolutely love about Aura is its simplicity. Say goodbye to the confusion of installing and managing multiple apps. Aura provides everything you need in one convenient package with features like parental controls, antivirus, VPN, password management, identity theft insurance, and more. Aura covers all of your bases effortlessly. And what's the best part? It's budget friendly, ensuring your peace of mind won't break the bank. Why waste time and energy trying to navigate the complexities of online security when Aura can just handle it all for you? By taking advantage of our exclusive channel partnership, you can experience Aura's remarkable protection for 2 whole weeks absolutely free. Just visit aura.com/Ron Yates. I'll even leave a link for you guys in the description down below to kickstart your no obligation trial. Trust me, guys, it is a no-brainer. So let's go ahead and dive into the intricacies of consolidation, rising food prices, and shortages. But let's not forget to take control of our digital lives with Aura. Make sure to click the link in the description down below of this video, or go ahead and drop me an email if you have any questions. Together, we can navigate these challenges and ensure our safety in both the physical and digital worlds. Let's get started, guys. Now, first off, Kroger has issued a major produce warning. Now, some locations are experiencing the issues with availability of produce meats. Now, if you've noticed a shortage of produce at your local Kroger, please let me know in the comment section down below. I need to know about this. We, as a community, we need to know. Now, speaking of, here's some comments that I picked up from one of my recent videos. So Harry Y8IF says, "You would not believe how much meat gets thrown away because of shelf life, and people aren't buying everything my store stocks. There's an overabundance that goes bad. U.S. government pay for what stores throw away." Now, I saw a headline about France recently. It said that large grocery stores have been banned from throwing away unsold food that could be donated to charities. Now, they must have systems in place to donate the food, right? Like, what do you guys think about that? Now, another one, this time from Drew Peterson 2039, "There is no meat shortage up here in northern Minnesota." Maybe because almost everybody has their freezers full of wild game like venison, grouse, pheasant, wally, and northern pike, crappies, etc. Wow, anybody here have these wild game in their freezers? Let me know in the comment section down below. But last but not least, K Vernon 8571. She says it's not just cows, it's chicken, eggs, milk from cows, cheese, butter, anything that's a dairy, and most proteins. I will tell all of my world, please plan soon. Yeah, it's definitely getting rough out there, guys, in a lot of places. Now, I remember somebody telling me that in some grocery stores, they were rationing their deliveries so that they would have enough produce for each day of the week. So if you see something out of stock, it may be in the back being saved for the next day. The stuff these stores do now, right? Wow. So yeah, let's help one another out. Keep those local updates coming, you guys. Just start your comment with the word update in all caps. That way I can easily find your comment down below, all right? Hey, if mainstream media is not going to cover it, we should right here. Now, let's talk about this situation in Texas, right? So the state is currently facing a heat wave, leading to record power usage. Now, to cope with the increased demand for air conditioning, authorities are now urging residents to conserve power. Now, they haven't cut the power yet, but the strain on the grid is definitely becoming more and more of a concern. But there's also news from UPS Teamsters. Now, I heard from one of them saying that they don't have plans to do a strike quite yet, but the vote is just a bargaining chip. And a big but, if they vote again, then worry. Definitely scary if the whole delivery network goes dark on us, right? But then again, some people are theorizing that what's happening right here in USA today was rehearsed in South America in the 70s. And according to them, it's all going according to plan. Could this all have been planned from the get-go? What do you guys think? Now, one thing that I am sure of right now, industry consolidation is leading to higher food prices. The United Nations reports food commodity prices dropped in May. It's down 25% since the record high in March of last year. But the question is, do you guys feel that on your grocery store shelves? I mean, seriously. Now, although the world price of grains like wheat, barley, and oats are dropping, food experts say that it takes months to see that at the grocery store. In part, that's because food manufacturers and grocery stores have hiked their prices to make record profits. Now, according to one professor, quote, "We're seeing higher profits for the majority, particularly for the food retailers and food processors. We have seen consolidation in the food sector quite dramatically over the last few decades, where there are fewer and fewer suppliers," end quote. Fewer meat processors and food processors mean higher prices. And at the same time, we're seeing fewer grocery store chains as well. That ain't helping us at all. They said we see more than 60% of America's grocery sales concentrated in just 5 companies. And when so few companies have so much control over the supply chain, they can charge whatever they want. Food prices went up 7% last month. So, as usual, it's the American consumers that are having to adjust. adjust. Basically, people are just buying fewer products. But let me know if you guys can relate to this quote here. Even though we're spending more, we're putting fewer items in our shopping basket overall. Yeah, about 90% of Americans are cutting back on their grocery expenses. Now that's one way to send a message. Now another is to buy grocery generic store brands. Buy locally grown produce, stop buying prepared foods, stick to shopping lists, and look for lower prices. And did you guys hear about Kroger buying out Albertsons? So it's nearly a $25 billion deal that could very well change the United States retail industry and impact how millions of consumers buy their groceries. The deal, which is expected to close in 2024, would combine two of the largest supermarket chains in the country and would create one of the largest private employers. Now, the two companies have a combined 710,000 workers, most of them unionized in an industry with low union rates, nearly 5,000 stores, and more than $200 billion in sales. The company says they reach 85 million households. Consumer watchdogs, unions, and Democrats have already come out strongly against the deal. They say it would harm consumers by raising prices and driving up competition. Now, it could also spur a new wave of consolidation in the industry among smaller companies attempting to compete. Senator Bernie Sanders called it an absolute disaster and called on the Biden administration to reject the deal. The American Economic Liberties Project, an anti-monopoly organization, said the merger would be disastrous for market competition, small businesses, and especially consumer pockets. You see, as grocery stores get bigger, small farms get squeezed out. Now, according to a new report from the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Economic Research Service, over the last 3 decades, consolidation in food retail has increased significantly at the national, state, metro area, and county levels. And in the past 10 years, the market share of the 4 largest supermarket chains has increased significantly. Depending upon the specific measure used, the 4 biggest chains like Walmart, Kroger, Costco, and Albertsons now control 43 to 69% of sales. Walmart in particular captures 1 out of every 3 grocery dollars spent in the United States by some measures. Pretty much the same story in the meatpacking industry. There's 4 major corporations in the American meatpacking industry. You got Tyson Foods rather, Cargill's, and 2 owned by Brazilian companies or corporations, National Beef Packing Company and JBS. Now in 1977, the Big 4, as they're commonly called, owned just 25% of the market. Many mergers later, the Big 4 now control 85% of all meat packing in America. Cattle beef are a $67 billion industry in the United States. Cattle ranchers used to receive 62 cents for every dollar spent on beef. But today, that has dropped to less than 37 cents on the dollar. Meanwhile, you got the Big 4, they've tripled their profits in the last 2 to 4 years alone. Now, while these monster companies are raking in the profits, here's what is happening to our local farmers. We wait for a middleman to come and say, okay, I'm gonna give you such and such price for your calves. It's not like we get to set a price. We're given a price and we have to take it or leave it. It's a stressful situation because we know how much we have to make on a calf. But we also, because of where we live in the wintertime, we could say, okay, we can't get a good enough price. We'll just keep them and we'll sell them. The next year, we'll sell them as yearlings. But then we have all of the costs of feeding them all throughout the winter, and who knows if the market's going to be doing any better next year. We're really trapped in the system. We don't have any other place to go. That's the other thing that I think a lot of people don't understand. We don't have any other market to go to. And so this is what happens with consolidation. As another farmer put it, there's this huge amount of wealth that is being extracted from the cattle that we're raising, and it's kind of being stolen from us. And what if that doesn't happen? What if the Big 4 meat packers further consolidate into the Big 3 or 2 or even 1? We're not going to have the kind of ranching that we now know of. If we don't change things right here and right now, we're just going to have these ranches, and that's pretty much a huge cost to all of us in the country. From produce shortages to rising food prices and industry consolidation, it's impacting all of us. Now, I've heard your experiences and concerns from viewers across the nation and the world, and that is why we need to stick together here, right here in our Financial Freedom Fam. It is crucial that we support one another during these uncertain times. Your updates and engagement in the comment section are definitely vital here. So remember, mainstream media may not be covering these issues, so we're here to shed light on them. Consolidation in the industry and the control of the meatpacking sector by just a few corporations are driving up prices and hurting small farms. So let's hopefully get a conversation going here about fair prices and making farming more sustainable again for the average American. So yeah, don't forget to protect you and your family today. Be sure to go to Aura.com/Ron Yates to start your free trial, also linked in the description down below, or you can scan the QR code. We all need to stay stay informed, you guys, support your local farmers, and make conscious choices as consumers. It may not be much, but we can all definitely do our part. Share this video to get the information out to even more people. The share button is right there, you guys. And while you're over there, I definitely would not mind you lighting up the like button either. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you right here on the channel, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Till then, take care.